Happy April Fool's Day. I wish I could tell you this was all one big joke and we could go back to school, but no such luck. What was a joke was the weather on Tuesday. Holy moly. We had everything. I don't know where you were, but we had snow and rain and hail and thunder and sunshine and an earthquake. So some of those things helped guide me in what I was going to offer you on the menu today. So let's take a look here. What I've got is we've got, of course, some mindfulness on there. I did give you a link to the 2-minute breathe bubble that we do in class. That will take you to this one right here. And always good to practice our breathing. So that one is on there. And then the Earth Science Connection today, I found the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. So that one is here. And I thought that was very pertinent considering most of us experienced an earthquake on Tuesday. I mean, I guess we all experienced it, but you might not have felt it if you were moving. But the earthquake was based in Idaho. And so this site here is the Pacific Northwest, so Idaho is not considered part of that. But what I wanted you to do is play around on this website. So this box here is the area that they will give you data from. I guess it'll come all the way down to here too. But you can go up here and you can look at recent earthquakes, notable events, U.S. earthquakes. So maybe... Yep, that one will list from USGS. Remember, we talked about this in the fall, the United States Geological Survey. And it will talk about this earthquake that happened just right in our backyard here. If you scroll down right here, right there in Idaho, a 6.5. That's pretty big. Like when we talked about the Richter scale, remember that Richter scale goes up to a 10, but for every increase on that Richter scale, so between a 5.0 and a 6.0, a 6.0 is 10 times worse. So that exponential change from just one number to another. So 6.5 is a pretty big earthquake. And we felt it here in Spokane, registered in the 3 range. And then there were quite a few aftershocks. So you can see here that there were lots of aftershocks in that same area in Cascade, Idaho. Other things you can do on, hold on, let's go here. On this website, you can look at the seismograms. This one's kind of cool because it takes the 2 units that we talked about in the fall with earthquakes and volcanoes, and we talked about that correlation between them. And this, you can look at some of those volcanoes in the Cascade Mountain Range. So we could look at Mount St. Helens, and it's going to show you some of those earthquakes that have happened. Let's see if I can scroll down here. Some of the earthquakes that have happened recently. So the size of the dot will show you the magnitude. So the bigger the circle, the more magnitude or higher energy of that earthquake. And then the color shows you how frequent it was. So we have the red ones are in the last 2 hours. So this is, live coverage here. And then you have in the last 2 weeks. So you can scroll in here and look around, and here's Mount St. Helens, and you can see that relief map. And this was the side that blew out of Mount St. Helens. And you can see that there have been some recent earthquakes. Now, when you look over here, the magnitudes are really small, but they're still happening with those seismographs, those seismic stations. And those seismic stations are noted on here with the triangles. Remember, for us to get a location on an earthquake, you have to have at least 3 seismic stations to triangulate where those happen. Just like we did on our virtual earthquake lab, where you got to pick Mexico City or San Francisco, and you practiced mapping those P waves and S waves and looking at that interval. So I thought this one was kind of cool. You can check out Mount Rainier, We talked a lot about Rainier, on how that would be more catastrophic than even Mount St. Helens because of its location. So you can look that, every day we're having seismic activity around us. Just today we had the opportunity to feel it. So lots of different things that you can check in here. This was I think this is interesting here. If you go to the Seattle Seahawks, it will talk about CenturyLink Field, and sometimes the games are so loud that they register on the seismic stations, the one at University of Washington, and it will actually register on the Richter scale. So they call it the fanometer or the Hockogram. And they have that for the Sounders games as well. So I thought this was kind of a cool website to show you a little bit about our area and what happened today. Okay, let's go next. Expand your knowledge. So this one is this link right here. And it really doesn't have a good thumbnail or anything to tell you what it is. But I thought this would be a great time to start looking at the night sky. I know we've had some crazy weather the last few days, but if you get one of these stargazing apps on your phone, there are many free versions that you can get on either an Android or an Apple device. And the things that you can do on there is you point your phone or your iPad or tablet up to the sky, and it will actually tell you what stars that you're looking at or where planets are. And the cool thing is you can actually go below the horizon and down toward the ground, and it'll show you on the other side of the Earth which stars and planets are over there. So this one, I was trying to find one that would kind of simulate what those do, but this one I thought gave at least a list of, like, you can look NASA, Sky Safari, Star Rover, Cosmic Watch. So you can look on this site to get some ideas, but I would really suggest downloading an app and playing around with that in the night sky. I found speaking of weather, because this was kind of the weather and the earthquake were kind of my inspiration today, looking at the BBC Wild Weather. So this is on YouTube, so everybody can watch it. This one is by the BBC. It's a series called Wild Weather. And this first one talks about wind, the invisible force. So it's going to talk about different weather events. And they have a whole series of videos that, obviously this is just episode 1, that you can see some interesting weather events. So we can click in here and see oh yeah, this was cool. So they went into one of the wind tunnels. I know it'll echo a little bit when I do this screencast.
This is it! I'm in the eye of it! And all I can say is, yes, this feels as amazing as I suspect it looks.
So they take you into like the eye of a hurricane and talk about the science of wind. So I thought that would be an interesting one. And then maybe you could continue on with the series and look for other weather phenomenon. Later on, I don't have this one on here yet, but I want to do something. This is something I wanted to do with you in class, but I really love studying clouds and the different types of clouds and what those clouds can tell you about upcoming weather. So that one I have sitting here. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but be on the lookout that we'll be doing something with clouds soon. I did put a cooking link for you. It's not me this time, but I thought I haven't done anything sweet yet, and I thought that is always something fun to do. So All Recipes is a good site. This one is their link to all the different types of cookies. So, I mean, tons and tons of choices here. Find something fun and give it a try. I was looking at their brownies. And which one was I checking out? There was one here, and some of these have videos, and this is what I liked, is it could show you the directions. I think they had some peanut butter ones. Yeah, I was looking at these chewy peanut butter brownies. So it will turn this down a little bit. But it'll give you the recipe and show you how to do it in a pretty short amount of time. And you can give something, something new a try and make a sweet treat for your family. So I put that one on there. And then last but not least, a physical activity. And we haven't had really great weather to get outside, but we have a local yoga studio in Liberty Lake called The Mat. And I will go there. I used to go there all the time. I go there once in a while. And they have some videos on here that they have been sharing with power yoga, slow flow, gentle yoga, 5-minute meditation. So, some resources for doing yoga at home. You can just put out like a towel to help you not slip. So you can put it on the carpet or the floor, or if you have a yoga mat. But just doing some simple stretches is really helpful. Maybe start with the breathe bubble and then do some yoga. So I thought those would be some good activities to pick from on our Earth Science menu, or basically our Learn, Laugh, Live menu for Wednesday. I also probably will be putting a survey out either Wednesday or Thursday. I want to know if you guys would be interested in doing Zoom, which is that similar to like a group FaceTime where we could, connect and touch base, and then maybe I could teach you some things through there, or we could at least see each other face to face. So be on the lookout for a survey that will be coming. I just haven't made that yet. But these are the activities for Wednesday, April 1st. And I think that's all I've got to tell you today. So always feel free to touch base if you need anything. Remember, these are all optional, but I think they're really great activities to keep you learning and keep you healthy. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.